Today I'm going to show you how to make this amazing Japanese pineapple barbecue beef and rice. Each serving packs over 50 grams of protein and you can make the entire batch in under 30 minutes. We're going to make 4 meals for the next 4 days so that we're set up on lunch and we don't have to worry about ordering Postmates or DoorDash. We're going to have it all dialed in. Here's how easy it is. All you need to make this recipe a success is an onion, 2 pounds of ground beef, and some sauce, and some rice. One of the things I love about this recipe is its simplicity. You got to make recipes that you can make easily, because if they're too complex, you're going to be stuck making them and wasting a bunch of time every time you want to enjoy a good meal. So I made this recipe really easy because that's how good recipes should be. So all we're going to do to start out is take an onion and chop it up. So you're going to start with your knife. Make sure she's nice and sharp. The way that I used to chop an onion was just by slicing it in half and just doing this until I had pieces that resembled that. Best way to do it is, once you cut your onion in half, you want to set it up on its side, and then you want to slice it long ways like this, just creating little chunks in there. So now you've created these slits, right? So then you want to do these diagonal slices this way. So we just cut it on the tall side. Now we're cutting it on the other side. And notice we're not cutting all the way down. We're leaving a little bit of space. And there we have a bunch of pieces of onion. So that's how you chop your onion. And if you know how to do that, that's the hardest part of the recipe, I promise. So we've got our pan. I'm gonna use a pan that has like a bigger lip here. I'm adding a lot of volume to this. I'm not just cooking for myself, I'm cooking for a couple of meals. I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef. So as a result, a little bit more picky about the type of pan that I use. I want something that's big enough to kind of hold everything. So I'm gonna turn on my heat source. And again, you don't have to have a hot pad like this. You can use a regular stove, whatever you have will be fine. Any sort of cooking surface will do. So we've got our pan nice and hot. And what we're gonna do to these onions is we're just gonna caramelize them. Throw in a little dash of oil. Got our onions right here. So when you're cooking an onion, it's very easy to burn, especially if you're impatient. So the best way to caramelize your onions, and when I say caramelize, I mean get that like soft golden color that adds so much flavor to your dish, in this case our beef, is you just wanna be really patient with it. So I'm gonna start off at a medium-high heat just to start, and once I start to notice them sweat and change color a little bit, like they're gonna go from white to like a little bit of a pale yellow, it's gonna drop the heat a little bit. So in this case, I'm gonna go from medium-high, just starting to sweat a little bit. I'm gonna bring them down to medium, and I'm gonna let them sit here for a little bit. So they're starting to change colors a little bit. You're seeing a little bit of browning, and you gotta stir them well too, because you don't wanna make a mess. I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning to the onions, just give them some extra flavors. They start to caramelize. Salt, pepper, paprika, oh, and garlic powder. All right, we've got our onions that are sauteing sweetly, and now we're gonna throw in our beef. These onions are gonna keep cooking while the beef's there. So to make things simple, we're just gonna toss in our beef and get it going as well. Now I'm gonna do 2 pounds of 85-15. You can do 90-10 if you want slightly better calories. That's typically what I recommend. My store was out of 90-10, and there was a sale on 85-15, and so I said, you know what? Let me just take that instead. So our beef has started to brown just a little bit, moving a little bit away from pink. We're gonna go ahead and add our seasonings. Now, seasonings you don't wanna overcomplicate. If you want seasonings that will work well for pretty much anything you make, especially if it's beef, your winners are salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. Those 5 work in pretty much everything. Can't go wrong with them. We're gonna mix in our onions now, let them combine. They've caramelized pretty nicely. I'm happy with how they turned out. And now we'll use the full space of the pan to cook the rest of this through. Now when your beef is pretty close to being done, you've got one more important step. This is the thing that ties it all together. You're gonna add your marinade. So the marinade that I'm a big fan of, this guy right here. I'm gonna throw in this marinade and use about a 1/4 cup or so. And then I'm gonna let all of this combine into the beef. And this marinade's special because you've got some seasoned beef. It tastes fine. I mean, it's not bland. You've got flavor to it. But there's nothing about it that's like crazy, that really jumps out at you. And I find that the Japanese barbecue marinades, and there's a lot of different flavors, but the pineapple one's my favorite. It just adds the sweet heat to the meat that makes it taste so good and just works so well with everything you're making. So we're gonna take our heat down. We're gonna have our resident taste tester, Liam, here with his on-brand Call of Duty tea. He's taking a break from gaming to see how the food tastes. Here you go.
Does that smell alone?
He likes the smell. It's hidden. What's it taste like?
That pineapple?
Yeah. I need to try my own food real quick. Yeah, that's doing numbers. That's treating me right. So we've got our beef out here. We've got our 4 meal prep containers. Get ourselves a little spoon here. Divide it into fourths here. So the nice thing is we already know that this recipe, each serving has about 52 grams of protein. So we've already cooked down 2 pounds of ground beef, meaning all we really need to do now is just eyeball it into these containers. And You know, I'm a pretty good judge of knowing what evenness looks like in these things. So once it's all together, we will have 4 meals with an ample amount of protein, and we'll be all set for the week. So we're gonna add our lids to each of these. This is not the full meal, by the way. What we're gonna do, we're gonna prepare a little bit of rice and a veggie to go on the side, but the veggie is super easy. And the sauce is something we're gonna make as well that'll last us for the whole week. But this spread right here, these 4 meals, are gonna cover our lunches for the next 4 days, which is awesome. We're already set. And all you have to do, once these are in the fridge, is just take them out, microwave them for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and you're all set. For the Sriracha mayo, this thing's incredibly easy. You're just gonna take some light, that's reduced fat sour cream. Macros in this are awesome. It says 50% less fat than normal sour cream, 35 calories and 2 grams of protein. That's a great ratio. So you can actually enjoy this a lot more than you would regular sour cream without having to worry at all about your macros. So your Sriracha here has 0 calories. It's just spicy. So you have a very, very simple sauce that's easy to replicate and has very low calories. So we're gonna start with a big dollop of our sour cream here. And we're making a lot, not because we're gonna have all this for one dish, but because I wanna make a bottle of it I can enjoy throughout the week. And I'm eyeballing a lot of this, but I'm gonna put measurements and stuff in the description so you guys can follow along. We're gonna add our Sriracha here. And I have a little bit of water around because, you know, the consistency that you make with this, it's okay, but it's much closer to sour cream. It's not as easy to spit out of a bottle or to drizzle over stuff. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Last thing I'm gonna add here, just some simple garlic powder. So the texture you want for this is when you have this, it's still dolloping. So I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna take our handy dandy bottle of Sriracha mayo. I really like these containers too because they've got a good kind of pop cap system that you can spray stuff on, like a ketchup bottle, right? But these are customizable. You can put whatever you like in them. We've made our Sriracha mayo. We've got this set. By the way, I've got this set not just for my 4 meals, but for anything else that I wanna throw this on, whether it's veggies or chicken dishes that I make or quesadillas, got this right here. It's always nice to have a sauce in tow. The last step is we're gonna make a 5-second salad. I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So we've got our cheese grater here, and we've got a cucumber. Probably don't need to eat this whole thing. So now that we've got our cucumber here, watch how easy it is to make something that's green that you can throw this in any dish, any sort of meal prep, but it's the fastest way to get a vegetable and a lot of good flavor without a big hassle. Got all that green right there. It's gonna be perfect for our dish. Our last step here, look, I make recipes for a living. And I don't mind making my own rice, but it is so easy to make your own using a rice packet. I've met a lot of professional chefs that swear by the same thing. I'm sure that there is an art to making a crazy cup of rice, but this gets you pretty darn close. And I can't be mad at it. 90 seconds in. All right, we've got our rice ready to go. And I'm gonna be splitting this with the man behind the camera, so I'm only gonna take half of the rice packet. But I'm gonna show you just how easy this is. So we've got our beef right here that we just made. It's nice and fresh. I'm gonna scoot it a little bit out of the way. In goes half a package of this rice. It's a little hot here. If you want more recipes like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what recipe or food you want me to make next. See you next time.